Hello and welcome to the Aston Martin V12 Speedster Track Day event. You will need upgrades of all threes to complete this event. Total cost for that will be $1,692,800 R dollars and 349 gold. Rewards of $160,000 R dollars, 40 gold, 6,500 VP points. Final cost of $1,532,800 R dollars, 309 gold. Let's get rolling. Here we are at stage 4, and I've got a bit of a funny story about how this event is going for me. We'll get to that right away. First things first, we're at Mount Panorama, and off in the distance there, it's really funny because Norm is way off track. You're too old to be in a car, Norm. Okay, so you gotta finish with a big lead, and he's already really hurt himself. If you're having trouble, you could always do the pit maneuver. Here's the funny story. A lot of you probably saw the message I put up on YouTube that something went wrong with my recordings and I lost a lot of my footage, so I was going to have to start over from scratch. So I did a cloud restore, made it so that I was completely having to start the event over again, and about 10-15 minutes later my recording showed up. So it was in another recording app that takes like a long time to save the video, but isn't necessarily that much better quality than the one I usually use. Actually, I think it's the exact same quality. I've done pixel tests. The difference is my regular video recorder is saving as it's writing, and the stock one doesn't do that. Anyhow, so this is the original footage, but I still have to do the event over again. Oh well. Now that I've got all this experience, I'll just blast my way through it. But I'd rather show you this footage. I'd rather show you me making mistakes and figuring things out. That's a little bit more of an honest representation of what a person's going to face. This is interesting. It's an interesting car. I don't mind it, so I don't mind doing this event twice. Actually, some parts of this event actually do end up being a little bit difficult. You've got to think a little bit or adapt your driving. That's good, because a lot of these required PR events were getting to be really boring. Like, definitely what I dislike the most is limited series, where there's 45 races and you got to do 45 races and you get your car. I'd much rather do this, where they're interesting races. Also, there's not that many of them. You end up doing some of them like 4, 5, 6 times to figure your way through them, but I'd much rather do that. Way more enjoyable, I say. All right, well, this particular event has some interesting speed requirements, but our specs go insane. Like, top speed is crazy. Brakes and grip are horrible. So I decided to give Norm a smack, because that's going to slow him down. Norm's actually really fast, surprisingly fast, and I really needed to get through that corner nicely. So the speed requirement seems crazy, but as you'll see, it's really not that bad. So I can hit speed heading down here. Again, I said this in the other stages, haven't said it yet. The upgrades I just showed you in the introduction there, I applied all of those at the beginning of stage 2. So I've already got enough upgrades to finish this entire event, even though we're just at stage 4. I recommend you do that in these required PR events. If you've got the currency already, just buy all the upgrades and have some fun, blast through things. I don't think bot slowing would have made this event any easier or harder, so usually it won't. Okay, so I'm gonna have to be careful here because of that lack of grip and those brakes as well. Let's see how much I blew the braking point. Ooh, not too bad. I definitely blew that braking point, but it wasn't too bad. Thankfully, this didn't say no contact with the walls. Yep, there we go. And then we'll definitely hit speed again, blasting down here. Probably pretty easily. Got to be careful, though, with that braking. Oh, look at that. I already hit speed. Well, I could get on the brakes pretty early then. Might need to. Let's get on the brakes very early. I think this one was no off track. So, yeah, got to be careful. There we go. That was nice. On the brakes way earlier than I would expect to be in this car. But again, we've got a combination of boosted top speed and decreased braking. So this thing's driving like the Lamborghini Diablo. That's about it. If you're familiar with that car's a bit of a nightmare. Well, there we go. Okay, now this head-to-head race, for me, this gets a bit nasty. So they gave us back our brakes and our grip. We've still got the monstrous high speed, but look at these brakes. Again, Norm's drunk. He's way off there into the grass. But look how fast he is. And this is a no off track stage, like instant fail off track stage. So I decided what I would do is block Norm. Let's build up a bunch of speed and then do the pit maneuver. That's what I decided I would do to good old Norman here. Take him out, royally take him out. That gives me time so I can coast. Get off those brakes and coast. You've only got 2 seconds of skidding allowed, and you can hit those 2 seconds very quickly. Like, see that? I didn't get any skidding in. I was braking too late. I decided I better just drive straight into the wall. Now, of course, that's let Norm catch up a lot. I also didn't want to use my brakes. I'm trying to build my brakes up because I've got a massive braking points coming up. So what I'm trying to do is keep Norm behind me, way behind me. He is not having any trouble with his brakes. Not fair, not fair. So look at my brakes. Oh my gosh. Losing my braking power very quickly. So you can see there, I was just coasting. Don't want to be on those brakes too much. Still have a decent lead on Norm, but that's disappearing pretty quick. Well, let's see here. No, that's pretty good. Obviously, I got a lot more top speed, but look at this. I'm just coasting, and I'm going to have to get on those brakes an awful lot. I can't throw the car sideways, which is usually what I would do to make up for my loss of braking. So look at that. I'm down to 60%, 63. I mean, it rebuilds. The brakes are cooling off pretty quick, so that's cool. But this is interesting. Like, this kind of thing can happen in real racing where you've got failing brakes. Something's wrong. And you're having to do something to maybe get to the next pit stop, or in some cases, just try to finish the race so your seasonal points aren't wrecked too much. Because the DNF is horrible. So in real racing, I mean, I'm sure you know, if you watch real racing, whatever you watch, whatever events you like to follow, there's always people who can't finish the race. So even if you finish and it's horrible, woo, I decided to skid a bit, spend some there. We're gonna go 4 times regular speed. But even if you can't finish the race, that's better than, I mean, even if you finish last, that's better than a DNF. I decided to go 4 times regular speed because there's really nothing more to see. But this was a little more of a challenging stage, I'd say, honestly. And Norm stayed way behind me, so no trouble for me there. I found this one fun. We're back to normal specs, and we've got an old Ferrari open wheel car here. And is he drunk? No, not drunk. It's interesting how he was blowing that corner so much before, but this car's got a lot more grip that he's driving. What's funny about this particular car is it does handle like the pre-2019 open wheel cars, like the Formula One cars. This doesn't handle like that, the one in front there. That's a difficult car to handle. It snaps loose really easily, but it has decent speed just decent grip at high speeds. I don't know, it's a sausage on wheels. So you'll notice I took that thing way into the wall. I decided to be a little bit silly here and do some wall rides. If you get wall rides right, you maintain quite a lot of speed. So it's kind of funny how that works. And Norm, yeah, I'm gapping Norm. So this, I don't find this one difficult at all. Oopsie, as I hit a wall and then lose it. Beautiful, beautiful NE7. As you're saying, it's not difficult, you're losing it. Nothing more embarrassing than that. But this is normal. Brakes are normal, as you can see. I'm not having any trouble staying off walls. We'll see. Maybe I should just stop talking about how good I am apparently doing. So there I lost my average speed, but you get it back really quick going down the backside of Mount Panorama here. We'll rebuild that speed very quickly. We're not doing this whole race because this is not a problem at all. So as we go under the bridge, like that's not the bridge, that's just a banner. There's a bridge coming up. As we go under the bridge, we'll do a little bit of a warp ahead. And this is gonna be a smooth one. You might not notice it happen. Check it out. That was a smooth warp. If you look, I'm now on lap 2. So average speed wasn't a problem. Nothing really to report, guys. Yeah, that's an easy stage. So there we go. That takes us to the end of stage 4. One more to go. Please join me for the next video. Here's the playlist link, and talk to you soon.